Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Motor Mouth and Wild Bill Winners. And Wild Bill, we have a pretty interesting show lined up, and we're going to lead off with the culture at Tallahassee with the Florida State University Seminoles. How would you define what's going on over there in Florida State Capitol?
It is an absolute mess. Florida State leads the NCAA in penalties and players flunking drug tests. So they've got a clean house over there. The boosters that write the checks that allow the Florida State program to be successful went to the president and basically said, we're not going to write any more checks until we get a new head coach. So they're buying Willie out. I think he's probably going to get $5 million of his, I believe, $17 million deal. And they're going to move on and try to change the culture there.
Absolute mess indeed. So, all right. Anything else you want to say about the Seminoles?
Well, it's a shame because the program has had its issues with their players not behaving. We can start with Francois, the quarterback. I believe he's over at Florida Atlantic, and I believe he's on his way out over there as well. And this is just an ongoing issue with this university. I imagine Coach Brown isn't real happy with what's going on over there. They got to clean it up. They have the talent. They have the horses, but it doesn't seem like they're bringing the right type of child in there or the right type of student athlete. The boosters are very, very upset, and it's not a good situation over there right now.
I know there was talk about Bob Stoops going over there. I know it was just nothing more than talk, but he thought better of it and stay with the XFL. I think it was a good move for Bob. He doesn't have to go through all the stress of dealing with a mess like that. I don't even think he inherited that type of a mess when he took the job at Oklahoma.
Nobody wants to touch the program right now, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Bob Stoops had a quick mini conference today and said he's staying with the XFL, so he's not going to be a candidate to coach over there. They need a complete cleaning house.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what candidates emerge for that job. That's for sure, because you're right, it is a complete mess. All right, let's go into a game that you spoke highly of last week. Now you have a chance to talk about it in more detail. The New England Patriots against the Baltimore Ravens. Boy, did the Ravens put on a show.
Well, the Ravens, I believe, are the best team in the AFC. But again, it's a long, long season. But they ran the football really, really well and handed that ball off to Ingram, established a run. And that play that I told you about where Lamar follows the running back into the hole after he fakes the run-pass option, New England had no answer for it, and they probably did that to him about a half dozen times during the course of the game for big runs. So, you have to appreciate the Ravens organization for completely doing a change over there as far as how they're going to scheme and play quarterback in the National Football League moving forward. And they have a super athlete that I believe is on his way to be an MVP of the league. And I don't think there's going to be a real big challenger for them.
Well, it's funny how Bill Polian said today that he definitely miscalculated the fact that he thought that Lamar Jackson should be a wide receiver. Boy, Bill's thinking twice that maybe he didn't quite get that one right, because Lamar has turned out to do a really nice job for the Ravens for sure at the quarterback position.
I had a long talk a long time ago with a former head coach who was coach at the Ravens. And this is going back when Leiter was coming out of USC and Vince Young was coming out of Texas. And we were talking about, what's the future of the quarterback position? Because they had a guy there by the name of Steve McNair who made a lot of plays with his legs, was a pretty good athlete in addition to being a really good quarterback. And basically, they kind of let it be known that they believed that they needed to find a Bo Jackson type athlete to play the quarterback position. There's just not a few of them out there. And then you really have to commit the entire organization to making that change. And that's exactly what the Ravens have done, and they've struck gold with a quarterback that has a good, serviceable arm and is only getting better, and is young and can really play the position very, very well in his instant offense. And I'd hate to be a defensive player right now playing against that offense. You play great defense and you run the football, and that sets up your passing game. And Lamar's doing it and doing it in a big way right now. So kudos to Ozzie Newsome. That was Ozzie Newsome's last first-round pick, and it was a doozy. And some organizations are ahead of other ones.
Yeah, Ozzie Newsome had a pretty good track record when it came to the draft. He really did. And everybody knows that he was a fine football mind anyways, getting back to his Browns days. But more power to Ozzie, getting it right with this kid. And the fact that he did slide into the Ravens' lap was, to me, remarkable. I think it's probably one of the bigger slides that I can recall. I remember Dan Marino was a big find for the Dolphins many years ago. But then you also talk about Aaron Rodgers sliding down to the Packers. And, boy, I'll tell you, when you miss out on some of those players, certain you miss. You know, not that some of the other quarterbacks picked ahead of them.
There's not a lot of them out there.
No, they're not.
You know, so you have to really go all in when you get one. And unfortunately, you know, there's some organizations that saw Sam Darnold play last night. He played horrible. You know, and it was just, you know, there's too much pressure for these quarterbacks to come out of college and be really good college players and then adjust to the program and expect them to be able to turn the entire franchise around. It's just not going to happen. You know, and so moving forward, you know, we may be seeing a change in the type of athlete that some organizations are going to be playing at the quarterback position because your quarterbacks are getting hurt a lot.
Yeah.
You know, and it's tough. You know, and right now you can see what's happening in Chicago with Trubisky.
Right.
In fact, there's a little blurb on the TV today that he's asking the TVs to be turned off inside the Bears facilities so that there's no negative energy. And, you know, some teams just have to work on their offense and get the game going. So that's where we're at with the Ravens and the Patriots. And, you know, the Patriots really haven't played anybody yet either. So, you know, this was a wake-up call for them. I still think they're the best team in the division right now until proven otherwise. But I like the Ravens going all the way, and I like them in the AFC Championship game because I'll probably see the Patriots again.
Yeah, I was about to say, boy, Bill, you and I definitely think alike. So I'm not going to – I'll save my voice later when I really need it since you and I seem to think alike a lot. With that said, okay, let's talk about Baker Mayfield being a bust. You talked about the fact that he changes his look 3 times a day, draws a lot of attention to himself. At this point in time, would you say that Baker Mayfield is a bust?
It's on his way.
Yeah, isn't he?
You can kind of see, you can start to see the look in his eye. You know, I'm real big on body language. You know, these guys can talk all they want. You know, I'm looking at the body language because I've played a lot of ball and I've seen a lot of situations and I've seen a lot of quarterbacks and I don't really listen to the press that much. I kind of follow my own feelings about guys when they're being interviewed or how they carry themselves during the course of a ball game. And, you know, the thing we talked about last time was, you know, call attention to yourself. Just be quiet and go play ball. So now what he does is in one day, he goes from a beard to goatee or mustache, I believe to a mustache. And I'm sitting there going, who does that in one day? What is this all about? You know, I mean, like, you know, it's just common sense says you just don't do certain things right now when you're in a bubble and the whole NFL is looking at you through a microscope. Right. And then you're doing stuff like that. It's just, that's the MO on him.
Right.
You know, and you wonder whether or not, and then you see the look, you know, on him on the sidelines, and it looks like he's a deer in headlights. Looks like he's got sucker punched. Yeah. He doesn't know how to react to it. And he's just flat out not playing the position very, very well right now. And, you know, it's just something he's going to have to deal with. You know, forward, because the more you pop off and run your mouth, and the more people sensationalize you, the deeper hole you dig into. And the best way that, like we talked about last time, was to just be low-keyed and let your performance do your talking. And they got to go get a win. It's going to be interesting. I think they play Buffalo this week.
Well, I mean, the guy does
have
have
a... be an easy win. Huh?
Yeah, he's got a bullseye in his chest, Bill, without a doubt. I mean, you know, like you said, he's leaving himself wide open for these problems. Just keep your mouth shut and play. Let your actions speak louder than your words. You know, the other stuff... Yeah, the other stuff is irrelevant. He just can't stop. I'm with you all the way, Bill. So, I mean, he follows along the lines of a guy that used to play in that town called Johnny Manziel, and Johnny Manziel can't find a field anyplace. You think he's done?
Yes. I will say this to you. Johnny Manziel's college game did not translate to the pros. Baker Mayfield is pretty much the same way. Like I said before, you know, you come in the middle of the year to a franchise that's starving for a win. The last thing you want to do is be hyping a player that's maybe got a dozen plus games, you know, on film for defensive coordinators. They spend the entire offseason figuring you out, and you don't improve, and you're not accurate. You know, he's probably going to be a quality backup, but all this press that he's getting and all these commercials and all that, they put the cart for the horse. You better be careful, because it could really blow up if they don't get a win. And, you know, it happened to Johnny Manziel. It's happened to a lot of guys, you know, and I think, you know, it's a new dynamic out there where I think that they've got to start sheltering these kids a little bit as far as the amount of exposure they're giving them at such a young age, because it's a really, really tough thing to deal with when you've got to go out there and perform, and at the same time, you know, you've got to deal with a social media now that's turning into a tsunami.
Boy, I like that word, tsunami. Boy, great segue to where we're going now. Okay, Bill. And we're going to talk about the guy that's part of the tsunami, named Jermaine Whitehead, formerly of the Cleveland Browns. He apologized on social media for his actions in the team's loss at Denver, but to me, the man hit the unemployment line. Let's talk about Whitehead, the ESPN article, and then we'll spend the rest of the program talking about social media and how nobody seems to figure it out. Go ahead. The floor is yours.
Well, you know, it's just basic common sense, like we talked about last time. If you've got instinct, you know, the first thing is the old rule: if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it. And that used to be the way it was if you were just talking to the press. You didn't want to give ammunition to the other team. And we didn't even have social media back then. Okay? Now everything you got is instant gratification or instant opinions. Sometimes people do it out of false emotionalism. And it's like an intelligence test. You know, I just believe that some of these guys are just flat out knuckleheads. You know, and it's all about them. And first of all, who cares about your opinion? Opinions are like sphincters. Everyone has one.
Right.
The second thing is, you know, everything should stay in-house. You know, in the locker room, it stays in the locker room. It stays there. And we've got, you know, a plethora of guys that have, over time, over the last 5 to 7 years, just flat out made dumbass moves with social media, and it's getting worse. And quite frankly, you know, we can talk about some, you know, other sports right now where the ratings are going down because there's a dynamic called business, finances. Okay, and you've got situations right now where some of the social media is really affecting the finances of these teams and leagues. And I just believe that also, you know, you're hurting the integrity of the product. Okay, and I just think it starts with players knowing how to use this device, not saying anything negative, okay, not being emotional, all right, and I just think they